good morning. Welcome to Amy Taft Yoga. Little last minute trouble with the iPad, so I'm streaming with the iPhone today. I hope it works out. So, hope you can hear me. I'm just gonna look up here and see if anybody can say anything. Hey Ann, can you hear me? Okay, so, this is so crazy. Okay, so I'm just gonna say I hope everything's working out. So today we're gonna do some twisty things. It's gonna be so great for us. And we'll just start by letting our arms swing back and forth. Just swinging a little bit, just to get a tiny bit warmed up. And then we'll just come into mountain pose. Our toes can touch. We'll take a deep breath in, tucking our tailbone, lifting up from the arch of our feet, feeling our kneecaps engage. Breathing, letting our shoulders come up by our ears and down our back. And let's just close our eyes and bring our hands to our heart. Beginning our pranayama, our slow, gentle ocean, ujjayi breath. We can hear our exhales and our inhales. Maybe we're lengthening them a little bit. So we just had the longest day of the year, summer solstice, on Saturday, and then so I learned a new chant for the solstice, and part of that chant says, "May the light within you guide you home." So guide you on. May the light within you guide you on. So that is our theme for the day. Let our light guide you on. And we have our own light. We don't have to copy other people or follow. We just need to take a little moment and get quiet and pay attention. So as always, anything we do in yoga that isn't right for you, just don't do it. Modify your own way. If you're just on your mat today, thinking about your breath and breathing long and slow, you're doing yoga. So don't worry about that. So we'll begin, we'll let our hands come down, we'll come up to the top of our mat, stay in mountain pose, and just a slow, gentle sun salutation. So we'll inhale our arms up over our head, take a breath, exhale, slow flow down to the mat, just letting our head hang. Maybe we want to pedal our knees a little bit. Just get used to this forward fold. Then pressing into our shins. Stretch our shoulder blades toward each other. Gazing forward. Breathing. And then letting ourselves just drift back down. We want our weight to be in the balls of the feet, not our heels. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, stretch forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold on down. So putting our hands on the mat, we'll just step back with our feet, doesn't matter right or left, and we'll come into plank pose. So remember, plank could always be here on your knees. That's just fine. Or plank can be up on your toes. And if it is, we'll just shift forward, keep our elbows so close to our sides, slowly lower on down to the mat. Let the tops of our feet touch, and then we'll just lift up a little bit into little baby cobra. Breathing. Then we'll look down at our mat, curl our toes under, and press back into our first down dog of practice. So while we're in this down dog, we're just going to spread our fingers wide, press into our knuckles. We can bend anything that we want to, bending our knees, coming up on our toes and back, stretching our shoulders down away from our ears, engaging our core. We'll just take one more breath. And then we'll look at our thumbs, and we can walk our feet up to our hands, or we can take a big step up, followed by the other foot, forward fold, half lift, forward fold, bend the knees, and we'll rise all the way up. Palms touch, and back to mountain pose. So let's do that again, and this time we'll step back with our other foot, if you remember which foot you stepped back with. Inhale, our arms come up. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Gazing forward just once this time. Stretching down, palms come down to the mat. Step right back to plank. This could still be on your knees, or you could shift forward, keep the elbows close to the sides, and lower all the way down. Tops of the feet come down. Elbows stay close to the sides, and maybe we raise up just a tiny bit higher. Cobra, taking a breath, gazing down at the mat, curling the toes under, pressing back into down dog. Breathing here, just getting settled. This time, we're going to walk our hands a little closer to our feet, and then we'll take our left hand and reach it around the right ankle, and then gaze up under our right arm. Then left hand comes down, right arm reaches around the left ankle, and we gaze under the left arm. Both hands down, and we can walk our hands forward a little bit if we want to, and then step or walk our feet forward. Forward fold, half lift, forward fold, bend the knees, fly up and rise. Our palms come together, and we come back into mountain pose. Just breathing. Take one more breath together. And then Sun Salutation B. So we're going to sink down into chair pose. So we're pushing our bums out behind us. Our feet are touching. And we just sit down. We might like to lift our arms up over our heads, sit a little deeper, or we might just leave our hands on our knees. Then we'll all bring our hands to our hearts, sit down as low as we can, pressing our knees together, and then twisting sideways. So our left elbow comes to the outside of our right knee, and we look up over our right shoulder. If your elbow doesn't come this far, and it needs to be like between the knees, that's okay. You just do it the best way for you. One more breath. Come back. We're still in chair. And we'll twist the other way. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee, looking up and over the left shoulder. Can you sit down 1 inch deeper? One more breath. Then our hands will come to our heart. We'll slowly, slowly let our hips rise up as our head goes down. Hands come down to the mat. And we'll step back into plank. Plank feels like a relief after that chair pose, right? And then we'll just shift forward, lower all the way to the mat. This time we may feel warm enough to come all the way into upward facing dog, but cobra is always still an option. Take a breath, and then we'll just tuck our toes under, press back, down dog. Right away, we'll lift our right leg high, step it forward, staying up on the back toe. We're going to rise up to crescent lunge, lift our arms up, and then we'll bring our hands to our heart, and we'll twist but stay up high. So the top of our body stays up, And we look back over our right thumb. Maybe we can sink a little lower. Both hands come to our heart. Hands come down to the mat. Step back. Chaturanga down. Or skip it because we're heading for down dog, and you could just meet us there. Left leg comes up. Step it forward. Staying up on the right toe, or more like the ball of the foot. We'll come up to crescent lunge on this side. Just take a breath here, relax our shoulders. Hands come to the heart, and this time we'll twist to the left. Trying to keep our upper body tall. Maybe we can look back over our left thumb, sink down a little lower. Both hands come to the heart. Both hands come down to the mat. Step back. Chaturanga if you want. Up dog and down dog for 4 breaths. Now, looking between the thumbs, this is a little bit different. We'll just step forward with our right foot, leave our left hand down on the mat, and just twist up and look at our right thumb. I love this twist, and I just often forget to do it. Feels so good, right? One more breath. Both hands down to the mat. We're just going to switch. We'll just step back with the right foot, step up with the left. Right palm stays down, left arm comes up high. We're trying to open through our shoulders, make our arms a straight line. Gaze up at our thumb if that feels okay. One more breath. Both hands down to the mat. Maybe walk your hands so they're just above your feet. And then we'll just step up with our back foot. Forward fold. Half lift. Forward fold. Bend the knees. And here we are in chair. We'll just hold it here. If you want to, you can bring your hands to the heart and do a twist here. We'll just stay up high. Other way, both hands. Thighs could feel a little shaky, that's good. And then we'll just lift on up and back to mountain pose. So nice to get everything moving on a Monday morning, right? Okay, so have couple other little flows. Inhale, the arms go up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Hands come down to the mat, and we can step back with just either foot. I'm going to step back with my left this time, just to switch it up. We'll just notice this runner's lunge for a minute, and then be followed by the right foot. Coming forward into plank, chaturanga, or don't. Up dog, down dog. Right leg lifts up high, steps forward, but this time the back foot pivots to a 45-degree angle, and we rise up to warrior one. So in warrior one, we're pressing into the outside of our back foot. Our front thigh is as parallel as we can get it to the mat, and our hips are facing forward. This is a closed hip flow. We'll relax our shoulders. We'll take one more breath. And by one, I mean 2. And then keeping our legs exactly the same, we'll bring our hands behind us, interlace our fingers, press our knuckles straight down, which might allow us to look up and over. keeping the core engaged with our balance. Slowly, we'll just drift forward. Let our head and maybe our shoulder come to the inside of our knee. Just gazing down. Your thumbs can stay right here on your sacrum, or you might want to lift your arms up and behind your head. This is waterfall pose, isn't it so nice? And then the thumbs come back to the sacrum. We're going to just press into our feet to come back up, and as we do so, we'll straighten our front leg. Take a little step forward with our back foot, and both toes can now face forward. Then we're going to stretch forward like we're going into pyramid pose, but it's a trick. We're going to do revolved triangle. So my left hand comes on the inside of my foot, but if you're super fancy, you can put it on the outside of your foot. Then, keeping both legs as straight as we can, I'll just lift up the other arm. So revolved triangle. Great for the IT band. It feels so good. And then both hands come down to the mat, and we'll just drift our head back down, pyramid. Legs as straight as they can be, but a little micro bend in this front knee is always good. We don't want to hyperextend it. And then, making sure the core is engaged, pressing into the feet, we'll come on back up. Take a step back with our foot, back to the 45-degree angle, and back to warrior one. Then we'll just let our hands come down to the mat, step on back. Maybe we vinyasa here, maybe we just wait in down dog. And then we lift the left leg. Step it forward, pivot the right foot 45 degrees, rise on up. Remember, we're keeping our hips forward, pressing into the outside of our back foot. Arms come up for warrior one. If you need a little bit of wider stance to get your hips forward, just step out with your back foot. Front thigh is almost parallel to the mat. Shoulders relaxed. Keeping our legs exactly the same, we'll bring our arms down, interlace the fingers behind the back, press the hands down, and this could lift our chest and lift our head. So our knuckles are pressing straight down. Inhale, and as we exhale, using the core, we'll just drift forward till our head's on the inside of our knee. Maybe our shoulder is too, and our head's just hanging. It's not, our neck's not working at all. Maybe our arms lift up off our back, waterfall. And maybe our hands just stay on our sacrum. Giving ourselves a little time to just melt into this pose. Then we'll bring our thumbs back. Our hands will come down to the mat, and we'll just take a step forward with our back foot so that both toes are pointing forward. Then, right hand down, I'm up on the fingertips. It can either be inside the foot like mine or across the foot on the outside. Left hand comes up, revolve triangle. So our legs are straight-ish. We're gazing up, twisting across our core. One more breath. Then both hands down, and just let your head drift down into pyramid. Tiny little micro bend in the front knee is good and safe. Then, looking forward, pressing into the feet, using the core. we'll just rise right up. Taking a little step with the back foot, the right foot, so that we can come back to warrior one. Just take one breath here, settle in, shoulders relaxed. And then hands come down, stepping back, Vinyasa or skip. Down dog, and we'll breathe here for 4 breaths. Just enjoying this down dog. So before we step up, let's bring both feet to the center of the mat. And then with the right, leave the right foot down. Take the left in between the two biggest toes. Hook them around your ankle, and then just see if you can help your heel come down to the mat. And then switch feet. Left foot down, right toes hook around the, kind of like the Achilles tendon. And that just kind of helps the heel get closer to the mat. Our shoulders are still relaxed. Let's not bunch them up. And then both feet come down. Looking at the hands, we'll step, or if you're a hopper, hop on up. Forward fold. Half lift. Forward fold. Bend the knees and we'll rise all the way up. So that was our closed hip flow. And now there's an open hip flow, which is, hang on, I didn't even plan one. That's okay. We can still do it and it will be great. So inhale, our arms go up. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Half lift, hands down. Step on back or hop. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Right leg high. Step it right forward. Come up to warrior two. So warrior two, our legs are pretty much the same as warrior one. Our toes may be a little more 90-degree angle in the back. Shoulders right over the hips. Maybe we can sink a little bit lower. And we'll take a breath. And we'll stretch our right leg straight. Reach, 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 and come down to triangle. Gazing up at our thumb. Keeping the shoulders open, the chest open, the heart open. Letting your light lead you. And then from here we'll bend the knees and come back to warrior two. And let's just half moon for fun. So we might want to toe heel our foot a little closer in the back. Hands come down. Mine are kind of on the outside. My right hand's kind of on the outside of my foot. It might feel good to you to have it right in front. Just see how you feel. We'll just lift the back leg. Our hips are open. Flexing the back foot. Left hand on the hip. Maybe you lift up your left hand. Maybe gaze to the left. And you could even come up on your fingertips and float this a little bit if you want to. And then gently, carefully, both hands down to the mat. Back foot down. Step on back. Coming forward to plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. And down dog. Left leg up. Step it through. And this time we'll rise all the way to warrior two. So stepping out a little bit with your back foot. Sinking a little lower. Shoulders right over the hips. Just a breath here, or two. Then we'll straighten the front leg. Reach as far forward as we can with our left hand. Let our hands slide on down. Maybe your hand is on the mat, on your shin, on your ankle. Right arm comes straight up. Gazing up at the thumb. One more breath. And then we'll just press on back. Warrior two. Coming to half moon on this side. So just let your hand come down wherever it feels good. Off to the side of your foot. And then come up, lift up the back leg. Flex the foot, hip is open. Right hand on the hip. I'm gazing down at the mat in front of my toe. Then I could lift up my arm and maybe I can look to the right. Half moon. Love this pose. And then carefully, don't just flop. That's how people get hurt. Hands down to the mat. Step back with your back toe. Fingers spread wide. Coming into plank. Lowering on down. Up dog. And down dog, 4 breaths. Just walking around with your hands. Let's switch our feet. I'm going to bring my left foot to the right side of the mat and my right foot to the left side of the mat. A little twisty leg down dog. And then switch it back so that the left foot is now in front, the right foot's now in back. And I'm just pressing back with my hands. Okay, normal down dog. Look at the thumbs. And step or hop forward, forward fold, half lift, forward fold, bend the knees, rise all the way up. So have a nice little easy bend for us, a little rest. We'll just bring our feet together. This is called palm tree. And we'll just inhale our arms up, our palms touch. We interlace our fingers, but then we flip our palms. So we can gaze up at them. I'm just letting my thumbs go free. And then I'll just nicely push my left hip out as my right arms and body drift to the right, and I gaze up under my left arm. So palm tree is a little bit like half crescent moon, but it's just different in the arms because we're beautiful palm trees. And we'll come up, hula our hips. I guess we're on an island today. Get tall again. Right hip goes out, we drift to the left, and we gaze up under the right arm. Let's take one more breath. We want to be even on both sides. Then come on up. Hands come to the heart. I'll do a little twisty again, little hula. So, going with our twisting theme, there's usually I do dancing Shiva with my foot against the wall or on my piano, but today, or straighten the right arm to the back and maybe look over that right thumb. Whoa, so tippy. Coming back and letting our foot come down. So we're going to do that one more time on each side. And if you want, if you're a super yogi fancy person, you can not have your knee bent but stretch your leg out. So pressing into the right foot, lifting the left knee, and again, this is a great place to stay. Or crossing the hand over. Maybe now you lift up your toe, hold it out straight. Maybe your toes clear up here, or maybe it's low like mine. And then left hand comes behind us,
And I just don't think I'm going to look at my thumb, but if you want to try it, you can. And then we'll bring our hands together, bend our knee again, stretch on down. Last side. So left foot presses down, right knee comes up, left hand crosses, maybe straighten the leg, maybe right arm behind, and maybe try to look at it, or just kind of compromise and look sideways. One more breath. Bend the knee and let it come down. Always good to try stuff that's hard for us, and balance is so important. As is twisting, like my friend Ann says, so good for the bones, which we all need. So, okay, we're just gonna make our way down to the ground, but we're gonna do that through lizard. So, we'll inhale one more time. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, a long, stretchy half lift. Exhale, head on down to the ground. Hands down. I'm going to step back with my left foot, keeping my right knee bent in runner's lunge. And then I'm going to just bring my hands to the inside of my foot. So I'm kind of long. This is lizard. I hope you can see me. I can hardly see on my phone. Inhale, we'll get tall. Exhale, stay right here, or bring your elbows down to the mat. It's okay if you come out on the side of your foot and your knee drifts out a little bit. That's okay. And then we'll walk back up to our hands. Now we'll open our knee on purpose. Just kind of stretch into this. Maybe twist and look over our right shoulder. Then both hands down to the mat, and we're just gonna stretch back, switch. So hands and knees like I just did, or just bring your left foot forward, right leg's going straight back. Hands are on the inside. Take a couple of breaths here. And maybe we'll come down to our elbows. When I do, my knee needs to go out a little bit. And that's okay. And if you need to put your back knee down, that's fine too. And then we'll press back up. Right hand stays down. Come up on the side of the left foot and just press the thigh out a little bit. And then maybe we look over our left shoulder. I don't know what this is. Maybe twisted lizard. And then let your back knee come down. Let both knees come down. And we're going to come into child's pose. So, if you want to spread your knees wide, you can. If you don't, just keep them however you want them to be. We'll press our hips back toward our heels. Let our hands stretch out. And let our head come down and rest on something. We'll just take a few breaths here in child's pose. Feeling our body settle in, maybe our hips sink, our back get longer. And then, keeping our feet just where they are, we'll lift up our head, and then we'll walk our hands to one side. I'm going to the right, and then we'll let our head come back down. So I can feel the stretch all down my left side. As I press my hips deeper, I can feel the stretch deepen. So if you don't like that, lift your bum up in the air. And then lift up our heads. We'll come on back to center, and then go to the left. Let our head come down. Feel the stretch down the right side of the body this time. Pressing
squeezing our hips will deepen the stretch. Lifting our hips will relax a little bit if it's too intense. One more breath. Hands come back to the center, and we'll just press ourselves up. If you had to take your glasses off, now's the time to put them back on for a minute. Okay, so we're going to come into dolphin. I think sideways might be the best way to show. So dolphin, we're going to bring our elbows down to the mat and hold our hands together. So our elbows are kind of right under our shoulders. Then we'll curl our toes under and just lift our hips up high. Let me come up here, make sure you can see. So it's just like down dog, but it's on the forearms, right? So now, if you hate this, just come back to child's pose. If you would like to do the arm balance, you can put your legs up in the air. Don't ask me to demonstrate that. I don't really know how that works. Or you could swim your dolphin with me. So when we swim, we just engage our core and bring our head up over our hands and then press it back. So we're just making our dolphin swim. And we'll maybe do 6 of these. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. Coming back to regular dolphin, we'll just take one more breath. And then let our knees come on down to the mat. We'll walk our hands back. We'll come into flying camel. So camel is a back bend, but it's also a little bit of a twist. If we tuck our toes under, we just hold one heel, okay? Maybe you can reach all the way around and hold the other heel, and then it's even more twisty. So if you're holding your left heel, that's fine. If you're holding your right heel, fine. But we're just going to try to make our hips face forward still. Engage the glutes. So, so important. Squeezing the glutes. Stretch our arm up and come over. And I feel like I just want to hold the same hand, same heel, because then I can open my back bend more. But if you're going for more of the twist, you can do the other thing. So then left hand comes to left heel, squeezing the glutes, squeezing them so tight that protects our lower back. Up and over. And just dance this yourself. Your own breath, your own movement. You don't have to move with me. Just switching feet, and let's do maybe 3 on each side. Slow is good. Squeezing the glutes. And when you feel even, when you've done both sides, let's just put our hands down on the mat, tap the tops of our feet a few times. Then we can cross our feet behind us and just come into a comfortable seat, Sukhasana, or easy seat. So, here we are. The first thing we'd like to do is we'll keep our right leg in a cross, like we're crisscross applesaucing, and then our left foot will come up and over to the outside. So then we'll just sit up tall like this. Then I'm going to hold my left leg and try to pull it into my right armpit and look over my left shoulder. Don't worry if you're twisting the other way, we're going to do both, so it doesn't really matter. I can feel the twist all the way down in my belly. So good for all the internal organs and for our spine. And then we'll just come back, so I'm hooking my left arm around, and I'm going to just look the other way, a little counter twist. Okay, so I know that my left
left knee is up now, so I'm going to put it down on the ground. And I'm going to bring my right foot up and over. And if up and over doesn't really work for you, it could just go right here in front of your knee. That's just fine. Sitting up so tall, I'm going to squeeze my right knee into my left armpit. So squeezing, holding. I'm going to stretch back with my right hand and gaze over my right shoulder. So I'm twisting. I feel this twist kind of below the belly button, all around that area, not in the neck. We don't want our neck to be working hard or overextended. We'll take 2 more breaths. So good for us. And then the counter twist, we'll just bring our other arm, so it's the same arm as your leg, right and right. Left arm back, sit up tall, and just an easy little twist looking over the shoulder. This feels good in my right hip. I just say that stuff so you can notice like where you feel it. It might be the same as me, and it might not. That's all good. So then we'll come forward. We'll stretch our legs out wide, 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 and one more little twisty thing. We'll flex our feet, we'll bring our arms up like a star, and we're going to stretch over, so right hand comes to the outside of the left foot, and then left hand switches. So if this doesn't work with your feet, it could be on your shins, on your thighs, anywhere is just fine. So we inhale, and then as we exhale, we'll just fold on down. So my other foot still really flexed. My core is engaged to really protect my lower back. And maybe I can look down at my knee. Maybe I can put my nose on it. I can't. And just breathe. And then we'll come up, uncross our hands, come up to a star. Left hand reaches across to the outside of the right foot. Right hand comes up and over and makes a little cross. Again, this could be here, this could be here. Does not have to be around your feet. We'll get tall, engage our core, and just stretch on down. Making sure that we're really squeezing our core to protect our lower back. If this feels too much of your lower back, back off. Stretch back. No one can see you. This isn't about showing off in class. And it never is, right? It's not about how it looks, but how it feels. Letting your head just drift down. And then we'll look up, look beyond our toes, come on back up. Making our way to our back. We didn't do boat. Always good to do boat. So let's pick up our feet, balance on our tailbone. We can have our hands behind our thighs. We can have our hands on our knees to help us get our back really strong. We're engaging our core, and we can lift up our feet, flex them. Maybe we can hold our hands like this. And maybe since it's twist day, we'll hold the opposite knee, stretch our arm back, come back up, opposite knee, arm back, and that's enough of that. We'll just hold this for 2 more breaths. I'm shaking. Then we'll hold our knees, sit up tall, give them a big squeeze, and if you're the right way on your mat, which I'm not, you can just roll on down. So here we are on our backs. Our knees are bent, keeping it comfortable. We're going to cross our right leg over our left knee, flexing the foot so that it's pressing in, and then we'll press our thigh away, making a nice, moving our knee even further away. And if this feels good to you, just stay right here. Or we can bring our hands behind our head, lift up our shoulders, and bring our elbow close to our knee. come back up, and we're just doing one side. So just elbow to knee, back to center, elbow to knee, back to center, elbow to knee, hold it, back to center, one more time. Elbow to knee, take a little breath, and back to center. Let our head come on down, and then now we'll reach behind the left knee, pull everything in toward our chest. So my right elbow is pressing my right knee out. I'm squeezing my legs in, and I can really feel that stretch in my right hip. Both my feet are flexed. If you want more, you could straighten your leg. Then if your leg is straight, just go ahead and bend it. Set that foot back down, let go of the thigh. Foot comes down, and leaving this same cross, we'll bring our arms out to the T and just let our foot drop on over. So my foot's on the ground, my knee's on the ground. My shoulders are both flat on the ground, and I'm looking the opposite way of my legs. So my legs are going left, and I'm looking right. Okay, engaging our core, let's bring our knee back up, and we want to be balanced on both sides, right? So we'll put the right foot down, cross the left foot over, both feet are flexed. I'll press this thigh away from me, just letting myself feel that feeling of lengthening the space in the hips, giving myself space. That's what I'm saying. Okay, then you can stay here, or hands can come behind the head, both feet flexed, and we'll bring the right elbow close to the left knee. You can see that I'm not really super close. That doesn't matter. It's just about moving and breathing. So head comes down, elbow comes back up, head comes down. We're totally slow motioning this. Elbow to the knee, down. This time we're going to take a little pause while we're up here, an even longer pause. Let the elbow come back down, and this is our last one. Come on up, squeeze with the belly, not with the neck. And then the head comes down. So we can reach up and hold behind the right thigh this time. Left elbow presses into the knee. Both feet are flexed, and we're squeezing the right knee and thigh in toward the belly. As we press out with our elbow, press the knee away. Feeling this nice lengthening in the left hip. We'll take another breath, and then if you want more, you can straighten your right leg. Squeezing, squeezing. This feels so good to me. And then we'll let go of our thigh, let the right foot come down to the mat, and just shift the whole leg operation here over to the right. So my left foot is touching the mat. It doesn't have to, it could still be up here. My right knee is down, my arms are out to a T. It does matter if your shoulders are flat on the mat. That's what we want. And then we're gazing to the left because our legs are to the right. So we'll bring our head back to center. Using the core, we'll bring our legs back to center. And we'll just press our feet down into the mat. We'll do a little cat-cow on our backs. So pressing our sacrum into the mat, tipping our tailbone up, our pelvis is tipped, and then relax sacrum down. You can even lift your glutes a tiny bit off the mat if your bum wants to come up a little bit, and then down. Relax. One more time. Tip it up. Relax the shoulders down into the mat. Maybe your palms come up. And then just relax. Hips back down. So we're going to do half happy baby to do our twisty thing. So this time I'll just bend my right leg. I like to hold the outside of my foot, but if you like to hold the inside, it's all good. My left foot is pressing down into the mat. That's balancing me. So I'm going to squeeze. Maybe I use both hands and squeeze my hip down into the socket. And then maybe I let go of with my left hand and just let it open as far as it wants to open to the right, pressing down into my left foot to keep my hips pretty much on the ground. My left hips come up a little bit. And then I'll bring it back up. Take a breath one more time. Let's just see what it would like to just let it go all the way to the ground. I'll bend my left knee and let it drift over. And then squeezing, holding my foot, I'll come on back up. Squeeze with both hands, squeeze it into the socket. And then maybe I can just straighten my leg. And just let my hands go, la la. Let my foot come on down. Pressing my right foot into the mat now. I'm going to take hold of the outside of my left foot. You might like the inside better. And with both hands, I'm just going to squeeze it into the hip socket. I can feel this in my belly, in my hips, mostly my left hip. And then I'll just let go with the right hand and pressing down with my right foot, I'll just let my leg drift out the other way. And then I'll bring it back up, squeeze it in, and then let it go one more time. This time, I'm going to let it go all the way to the ground if it wants to, and that will let my right knee bend. Bringing it back up, one more squeeze. My arms relax, my foot comes down, maybe a little windshield wiper action, not very deep, just whatever feels good to you. Then I can stretch my feet out to the corner of the mat. If a bent knee shavasana feels better on my back, that's all good. I tuck my shoulder blades under, let my palms face up, let my feet drift apart, no need to flex them, no need to hold on to them. Letting my own light guide me, not just here on the mat, but all the way through my life. We know what's best for us. Let's let that light guide us on. Let's take one breath together, in through the nose, and we'll sigh it out through our mouth. Just let the lips drift closed. The eyes could be closed. Shavasana is where our body's soaking up all the things we did, all the funny poses and the way we moved. It's where our breath is noticing, oh my goodness, I loved breathing long and slow. Maybe I can do that throughout the day. Wouldn't that be nice? To have nice, slow, calm breath with you. It's where our mind remembers the patterns that we did, and where our spirit remembers the things we already knew. We know we have a light. We know we can follow it. So Shavasana, enjoy. There'll be a little quiet, there'll be a little chant and a singing bowl, and that whole time you can just relax here. the singing bowl fades, just know you can stay where you are as long as you would like to. But if you'd like to take all this peace, all this goodness out into your day, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe a full body stretch. You could roll your head from side to side. Making your way to one side, just taking a few breaths there. Eyes could still be closed or they could be open. And then when you're ready, just slowly make your way to a comfortable seated position. Bringing the hands to the heart, spreading the fingers, bowing the head. Take a few breaths to just think of what we're thankful for. Thank you for practicing with me today. Follow your light. Namaste.